Hey everyone, step one on rear storage on the Patrol. You know, I did do that on purpose. Don't worry, mate, we've still got plenty of Prados here, it's all good. But the Patrol's an option depending what your use is. If you need something for towing, highway touring, that you don't mind paying for the fuel and having trouble with the fuel tank filling up and you need to do a few mods to make it reliable. And in my opinion, if you're not taking off-road too heavy duty, because in my opinion, it's not really suited. It's not the best vehicle for that. But anyway, storage solutions. As you can see, there's this massive space in here. The floor's not flat, so everything you put in here, it's like a ramp, right? You can't put anything in here because as soon as you accelerate a little bit, it takes off. If you accelerate hard, you'll put it through your rear door. It's ridiculous. So I am going to get around to getting these seats out and building a flat floor fridge slide, make use of what storage we can underneath the floor. It's a massive area in here, so you may as well make use of the space that's there. I mean, if I just sort of want to step back and I can't even get it in a video how massive it is. And because this, I suppose, comes back so far, this is party problem. So if I walk right up to it, you know, in the Prado, you'd be touching the rear seats. I'm 400 mil away from those rear seats. Like, I'm like, reach, big stretch. I can't even, you know, you'd have to be tall to even touch those seats. That's at a stretch. So what I've done with this one, I've got the side molly panels, the large ones, to maximize storage space, because what I'm actually thinking with this one, we'll see how they fit up, what I'm going to be able to fit, if anything, behind them, maybe not. But I've got the storage pockets on the outside. I'm not planning to put a big storage system in this one, just a fridge slide, make use of the space underneath, and you can throw the bags in next to it type thing. But I have found that, look, you miss the table once you got a fridge table just to put, where can I put things? There's nowhere to put things down, you know, where on the Prados, you know, we've got that fold out table, I've got the storage system, I've got flat areas, you can put your drink down. Where can you put a drink? If you put a drink in there, it's on an angle, it's totally insecure. There's a little ledge on the back bar here you can put it on maybe, but you just can't even hang around the shade of the rear door that folds out and put anything down. So first step is, I always love cargo barriers, the light cargo, it is light and it makes sure all your gear that's behind here is going to stay here. Helps maximize storage. So the storage pods are on in preparation, ready to go. These are from kaon.com.au, right? So you bolt these things on the bottom. You'll see how it all works. They've got their own videos and instructions. The instructions work really well. So I've got the storage, the shelf up the top there, right? The side molly panels, the storage pods that go on those, and I've also got a cargo barrier there, but that goes on last. You've got to follow the instructions. Basically, get your molly panels out first. You use different top handle mount brackets, if that's what they're called. I've just left those loose. Everything else is tight. Just pre-prepared, you know. Just look at the pictures on the instructions is the best way. But, you know, this is obviously the right side. It's got the K facing that way, K facing that way. These go in your drink holders, really awesome idea. It's got a little rubber bump, not that I'm worried about what's going to happen in the drink holder there. Packet of chips, just in case you're eating chips instead of drinking beer while you do this. Hopefully I won't need any. I don't think it'll take too long. The hardest part's unpacking the stuff out of the boxes because it's packed so well to help protect it so that it doesn't get any damage on it, whatever. Probably me and there's a couple of rub marks knocking around since I'm not too fussed about it, right? I'll put something over this like I always do to cover those holes, like that rubber matting is what I put there. So we'll get those in position. I've got to get the handles off, so I've got to take the handles off next, get this out of the way. So the handle bracket that comes with the molly panels, you just turf that. These are the handle brackets, if I remember correctly, that come with the shelf. So use those, and if you're adding a cargo barrier, these are the ones that come with the cargo barrier and they stack on top of those. So I've got to get the handle off, sit these in the drink holder, put that bracket up against where the handle goes, sit this over the top of it, put the handle and the original bolts back in the hole, then they're set in position. When we tighten up those silver bolts later, we sort of try and stretch the length of this. So to load up this a little bit between that and the handle so that it's not loose, floppy, vibrating around. We want it to fit tight. We want to expand it. We want to stretch it. So if you've got an extra hand and someone there to help sort of pull it apart, that way these will press down into the plastic a little bit, you know, not crazy, but just a little bit to sort of load it up so that this is taking some of the weight and it's not all just hanging off the handles. And so these are not vibrating loose. I've got no experience with this. I've never done moly panels before. It just makes sense to me, and I did watch Tin's Kaon video, bada bing, bada boom, and it totally makes sense. When you've got great minds, think alike. Well, he's smarter than me, but at the end of the day, totally understand, and you'll get it. So get on the Kaon videos as well, and the website, because, you know, I just give you info on what I'm doing and what I know. There is some prototype product that comes to me, so if you see something I've got and you can't find it on the website, please don't bother them. It's in process. Stay tuned, check the website, stay tuned on their videos and their Facebook page and all that sort of thing, and you'll see it when it happens. So I'll get those on. Then I'm going to need myself, because nobody else is here to lift this shelf up, and get the 2 bolts in to hold the shelf up, and then we'll get the cargo barrier on. So wish me luck. I'm going to put those in position now. It's not like working on a Prado. Prado, you can reach in. Patrol, you got to jump in. See those little holes there? Tiny little flat blade, and flick those covers off, all 4 both sides. And then you get your little impact driver and go like that. So there's the little covers. Just put those aside. You probably want to put those back on later, although when the handle's closed, you don't see it. So it's really aesthetic, but you know, they're spring back. They've got a spring on one side only. That's fine. But the thing is, when you're not using them, who's looking up there to see? So I almost just want to throw those in the bin, but I'll put them back on. But you see what I mean? Now what they've done, I believe, with these handle brackets and stuff. So this video is a bit different to the usual video. I'm not going to show you how to do it. They've done that, but see how I'm showing a bit of a different angle on this video, right? I'm showing you I'm pre-prepared. That's what I recommend you pre-prepare. These slots they've cut out, it's quite engineered. It's not just some sloppy. Look how nice that fits, all right? So it's pretty straightforward. Handles are off. I've got to get these panels in place with that stacked over the top, put the handle through the hole, get the bolt started by hand, not with the gun, and bada bing, I'll be back soon. This is what I'm going to be holding to get the bolt started to make it a bit easier. Quarter drive, 10 mil. And I'll give you another important tip. Always clean your tools before you put them away. Or I'll just go and clean them with a nice clean rag, the extension, the socket inside out, back to front, because the last thing you want is a bit of grease from the last dirty job getting from your tools onto your hands and then on your nice clean trims up here. So doctor's hands for the job, unless you want black marks everywhere. Yeah, what this video is about is giving you a real world view on what it's going to be like installing this. Now, it's easy, but if it's that easy, why did I struggle? And I dropped it on my head, ouch. So next time you see me, I got a lump in my forehead. Yeah, so I would say get a helper, and it's hard to reach in even, like I said, so you need to be in there. I tried laying down, sitting up, cross your legs, bend your arm around backwards, cross your tongue and everything, and it's easy to stack the handle and the 2 things, right? But then it's hard to get it in position to get the hole started. There's a little pin that's got to go in a hole, and then the bolt gets started. Once you get in the right spot, it starts easy. But I just struggled a bit, all I want to say. So this side probably took me a few minutes. So we're struggling, we're talking about a few minutes. This side was harder for whatever reason, just bad luck, I think. But look, the whole moly panel, it's just sitting there. There's nothing holding it up while you're doing this. So you've got to have hands to hold that up. You've got to have a hand to hold this. Oh, the top bracket, sorry, the storage shelf bracket at the top there. It's got to be facing that way. So you've got to have another hand to hold that. You've got to have a hand to hold the handle. You've got a spring-loaded handle you're trying to hold open, and only one of them is spring-loaded. So you can't get them both to stay in the same position because the spring wants to push one. So things are moving around. So I just want to let you know it's a pain in the butt, but you get them started by hand and zip them in a little bit. I just went lightly to the first click. Now I'm going to get the quarter drive and just check the tension on those and cover them up. Oh, look at that. Patrol, man. Ain't no Toyota. I don't know. Actually, I thought the thread must have been not quite stacked right or something, because it felt like it got tight and then went loose again. But nah, it is made in Japan after all. That one's good. Credit where credit's due. While I'm laying down, I taught them the absolute, you know what, shit out of those to see if I could pull the threads on them, and they must be good long threads. They're solid, man. Those handles, they are rock solid. I'm not worried about any weight hanging off those at all. Mate, how tight I did those up, I don't recommend it, but I sort of pushed my luck a little bit because I didn't really care. I wanted to see what happened. I reckon I got a good feel for it, but there I am in the window having a bit of a lay down. All right, now the final part of the side molly panels, what I want to do is try and, like I said, load this. I think it's already loaded enough. You can get a little 10 mil spanner, probably just an open end or a slim ring, onto the back and get the Allen key on the front and tighten those up. Okay, so this side's nice and tight. What I did, I put the 10 mil open ender. While I was holding that, I hung some weight onto the molly panel, which opens up this gap so you can see what's going on. If you had a helper, you could just get them to pull down there, something like that. But for me, on the spanner, kind of like push down here, pull there, and then use the Allen key to tighten that up. Worked really well. Okay, they're tight. Let's they're rock solid. They're not going anywhere. That's a great system. This side as well. Yeah. That is really solid. Better than I thought it was going to be. Just the view from the outside at the moment. I reckon we're on the home straight now. That was the hard part. When you put the clips back in, remember the round part at the top, and that goes in first. That's opposite where the little lever is. It should just sit in position like that and just go clip like that. Make sure it's nice and flush. The shelf's sitting there in position. Bit of a dodgy sticker there. Anyway, it's in position, ready to lift up in the right configuration to put these 4 bolts in the 2 end holes, 2 at each end. See that hole right there? That's where it's got to go, that one and that one. So they reckon you need a mate to hold this up. I reckon this is going to be easy compared to the other part, but I'll do it and I'll let you know. Put stuff where you're going to need it. That's one side ready to go. The other side ready for action. Now this does look cracker so far. It's all tight now, so far so good. And it's bloody rock solid. I'm really happy with this shelf so far. You'll notice I didn't put the back on it because I like to set up my cargo barrier to be the back, and then I can carry a bit less weight. But you know what? I'm hanging off that. They say 10 kilos. I say you're dreaming. That's the flexy part there. A little bit flexy, but the ends have got the folds. Mate, you can put 30 kilos up there. But the thing is, you've got to keep the weight of your vehicle down, and especially the high up weight. So that's the consideration. You're already adding some weight up a bit higher by adding this stuff. Now let's get the cargo barrier in place and finalize the deal, because at the moment I see a safety issue and a storage issue, and that is stuff can go flying that way, whether it's just storage wise or in the event of worst case scenario. All I've done to pre-prepare this one is follow the instructions. I set the brackets with the bolts, and I put the thumb screws in there so that they'll be up in the right spot. That's all. I've put the headrest brackets in pretty straightforward, facing upwards, and I'm just going to jump in and hold that in position and use the 2 bolts with washers, and that'll hold that in position while I secure the top end up here into the brackets that are adjustable. And hopefully I can get the adjustment I want. And I suspect, because this is a bigger vehicle, the reach is a lot harder to reach to the back of the shelf. You're going to put the least used things up there, emergency items, that sort of thing. Stuff you can get to, but you might have to sort of climb in a bit. Not, you know, on this edge you might get the things you're going to use all the time, and at the back, the spare dunny rolls, the first aid kit, the things you're not hopefully going to use. But if there's too much gap between there and the cargo barrier, I might be doing it the hard way and putting that back on the top shelf. I'll let you know. Okie dokes, that's it. Everything's in. Last time you're going to see this thing clean like this. It's about to get, it's not a massive setup, but it is a touring setup. Not for heavy duty off-road, just the usual cruisy sort of stuff where you're not going to damage your car. So you might want to subscribe, turn the bell on, see what we're going to do. I've left the rear off the shelf at the moment. It's got a bit of a gap there. It'd be good if it was about 40-50 mil longer. That's not exact measurement, you know, but if it was a bit longer to close up that gap a little bit. I don't see the need for a gap quite that big. We could just go a little bit more. If they're worried about support, you could also make a bracket that went up to the bracket for the case. You know, things work, it all works together. Anyway, really happy with the rigidity of the side molly panels, and particularly the top shelf. Looks great. It's made it safe, and it's going to be able to help with some storage concerns. So let's roll with that. Let you know if there's any squeaks or rattles. Stay tuned. Bada bing, bada boom. It's time to load up these shelves and get some storage happening in there. Might need some more storage pods, I think.